Listen, I hope I've been clear on this so far. If you've been trying to create or engineer consistent trading results without much success, the only way to experience a different reality is to look within, to observe oneself. And this is something that took me too long to recognize. All our lives we are accustomed to look outward. As a culture, we have always been interested in what is happening outside. Okay, and it's the reason why we traders are so obsessed with no-fail holy grail trading systems, even when none exist. We are rarely, if ever, trying to examine ourselves, our own mental and physical structure, our own actions. So we remain unknown to ourselves, and this ignorance has harmful consequences because without knowing from experience what drives our behavior, we remain slaves of forces within ourselves, and this creates our results in the markets. The inability to let a winner run or to cut a loss, for instance, is a compulsive trading habit resulting from or relating to an irresistible urge to do something, especially one that is against one's conscious wishes. And why? Well, most of the time it's due to an inability to subdue discomforts, as we'll start to explore in the third section of the course. I mean, you know you have to cut your losses and let your winners run, but you can't do it, right? And why can't you do it? It's because doing those things are uncomfortable. So there's both craving and aversion happening. You are craving certainty, maybe money or being right, social recognition, or whatever it is, and you are averting losses, possibly pain, failure. But at the same time, you know you should stick to your plan. And all of this creates conflicts in your mind, and so discomforts naturally arise. At the same time as one wants to do what one knows what one should do, there is also a feeling that one shouldn't do it. Okay? And in that case, one can feel self-judgments, shame, but these can fuel more craving and aversion. It's because this craving and aversion is wrapped up into our very identity that we act out and then we feel bad about ourselves. As we experience negative feelings and thoughts, we medicate those by going back to acting on either craving and aversion. This is a vicious cycle, my friends, and in some ways we can never really build a durable and successful trading career without working on relaxing this mechanism. So we have to target the natural craving and aversion mechanism, or else the problem continues. I could go on and on about this, about how this clinging and averting mechanism makes sense scientifically in terms of neurology, but also in terms of how it's just a basic survival mechanism, right? Most life forms move towards certain external stimuli while averting others. But we humans have the capacity to choose because we have the gift of rational thinking. The thing is that rational thinking is not always a given, especially in a field like trading. And the only way to cultivate it and maintain it is through the strengthening of our awareness of ourselves. And we have to become aware experientially of certain hard truths pertaining to reality. So, I don't want to plunge too deep into the esoterica at the moment. My aim is to keep this course very simple because what we're concerned with is experiential understanding of those truths, and we'll work on that. For now, and before proceeding with the following section, I strongly urge you to really consider your motivations to trade for a living. Use your journal as a catharsis for your mind throughout those 2 weeks. And really reflect on this, on why you haven't been able to be consistent so far. What's the real reason for wanting to trade for a living? When you write in your journal, don't force things. Think of those questions, but let the answers come to you naturally in their own time. Okay? If you force things, you'll tend to give superficial answers like, I want to be happy, I want my family to be happy, I want to quit my job, escape the rat race, etc., etc. Yes, these are superficial answers because they don't hit the core. What I'm asking you is to really look within. Hopefully, if you're completely honest with yourselves, what you'll see is that you are trying to fill a void, whatever that is, and the degree to which it is. Furthermore, by the end of the course, in your practice, when you've learned to go deep beneath all the collection of thoughts and concepts and perceptions and emotions that really color your existence, what you'll see is that there is inherently no reason why you would want to trade for a living. No reason whatsoever. Because you're already whole as you are. There's no void to fill. And in there being no reason to trade for a living, no void to fill, there is every reason to trade for a living from a completely detached perspective. No resistance.